40,000 Palestinians have been killed.
How many are combatants?
Actually, so they're named and identified.
24,000 people have been named.
Estimates are currently at...
Okay, let me give it to you like this. You ready for this? I'll give it to you very simple. You don't want people to die? There have been 17 ceasefire opportunities on the table for Hamas to accept since October. 17. What are the two requirements? Hold on, what are the two requirements? What are the two requirements? Release the hostages, Hamas disarms. If they really cared about their people, they would be demanding that Hamas and the international community would be putting pressure on Hamas to accept one of those ceasefire opportunities. 17.
You know what is the thing in this conflict? There's only one side whose actions matter. Only one side whose deeds are up for critique, and that is Israel. That is the Jews. The soft bigotry of low expectations. You've heard that before? Where Hamas and the Palestinians are so hopeless, they can't do anything but massacre Israelis, kidnap them, and then hide behind civilians as they wage war. Their actions don't matter. They're not culpable for any of the results that occur from their behavior. The only focus is the result of the behavior, the result of the wars that they start, which is always them losing and them suffering. And that's how the game works. They start a war, they lose, they cry, and then people in the West cry with them and accuse Israel of horrible deeds. That's what happens here in this video, in a university debate, where an IDF soldier, an actual soldier, not just a guy who knows how to fight, but a guy who knows how to talk, gives the appropriate response. Take a look.
About 40,000 Palestinians have been killed.
How many are combatants?
Actually, so they're named and identified.
24,000 people have been named.
Estimates are currently at...
Okay, let me give it to you like this. You ready for this? I'll give it to you very simple. You don't want people to die? There have been 17 ceasefire opportunities on the table for Hamas to accept since October. 17. What are the two requirements? Hold on, what are the two requirements? What are the two requirements? Release the hostages, Hamas disarms. If they really cared about their people, they would be demanding that Hamas and the international community would be putting pressure on Hamas to accept one of those ceasefire opportunities. 17. We are now in month 8. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Hold on. I want to add another thing. I want to add another thing. War is inherently bloody. This is war. We did not ask for this war. They started a war with us. If you don't want people to die, don't start a war. But you know what bothers me the most? What bothers me the most is the tragedy selectivism. Okay? Because if you're going to go ahead and make problems that Israel is defending themselves in a war, where were you when Bashar al-Assad killed 500,000 Muslims? Where were you when in the Yemen Civil War 450,000 Muslims were killed? And as you and I speak, safe in America, there are 1.2 million Muslims in Chinese internment camps. Where are you fighting for them? But you choose Israel, the singular Jewish state, defending themselves against radical terrorism. I rest.
The usual. Look how many people have been killed. Look how terrible this is from the Israeli side. How could you do such a thing? Doesn't even distinguish between the combatants and the civilians there, which the soldier there corrected him, and they always just give a number, 40,000, 50,000, and pretend it's all women and children when it's not, and we know it's not. And also, maybe more importantly, the fact that they don't care about any other people who are being killed, including their fellow Muslims. I keep hearing this is about we care about Muslims. Muslims don't care about Muslims. What they care about is the fight of Islam versus the infidels. In this case, the Jews, but it can also be the Christians and the West. It's about Islamic domination. When their dominion, when their supremacy is challenged, as is the case with the existence of Israel, because the Jews have a role in the Islamic and Muslim society and Arab society historically, and we know this, their role is to be dhimmi, to be this subjugated second-class minority living under their sovereignty, under their rules, and also under their oppression and domination. The existence of Israel shatters this existence. That was the case for over 1,000 years, from the time that the Arabs burst out of the Arabian Peninsula and conquered everything from Persia all the way to Morocco. All these places had Jews, and then Jews got to live, had the wonderful life, right? We always hear about the wonderful coexistence of the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians before Zionism. Bullshit. Bullshit. BS. Everyone lived in subjugation under them, and when that status is challenged, anything that challenges that status, all of a sudden becomes of extreme importance. Do you know that Jerusalem is not even important to the Muslims? Many people don't understand this. They don't know that for centuries, that place was just basically an abandoned back hole Nobody cared about it. It wasn't a capital of anything, certainly not of the Palestinians. There's literally just two moments where Jerusalem is extremely important. One is during the Crusades, because then they're in a jihad, a battle with the Christians for supremacy. So all of a sudden it becomes a symbol. And now with Israel. After 400 years under the Ottomans, when it was abandoned, all of a sudden Jerusalem is of massive importance. We're going to march to Al-Quds because it becomes a symbol of the conflict between the religions. So they don't care. If there's a civil war in Yemen, Muslims butcher Muslims, they don't care. In Syria, they don't care. In China, well, I don't know. Why don't they care about China? Isn't that some type of conflict? I don't know, but they just don't care. They just don't care. There's nothing quite like the conflict with the Jews. The Jews are like the ultimate subjugated, weak, non-militaristic minority that gets humiliated by them, and the fact that Israel wins every war with them, they just can't stand it. So they have to lie about it. They have to pretend they won the 73 war, the Egyptians. They have to claim that all the Israeli victories were because of the Western colonialist support of the United States, even though the US didn't support Israel for the first 20 years. And now when they start a brutal war in Gaza by kidnapping and murdering people and invading as they did October 7th, now they have to cry foul and say, oh, it's Israel that is the aggressor. Everything is upside down. Same circle, circle. Effa, fafo. F around, find out. Start a war, lose, cry, repeat. Like that. Very simple. That is the case. What can you do? Guys, accept the existence of Israel. Stop calling for the annihilation of Israel. Stop starting wars with Israel. And stop hiding behind civilians after you start the wars with Israel. And if you do all those things, at least win the battle. But you don't, but you lose. So this is the consequence. People suffer. And just for the record, I don't like to see people suffering. I would love for Gaza and Ramallah to be the high-tech capitals of the Middle East alongside Tel Aviv. And we would triangulate, drive between the different cities to visit and to collaborate on economic projects. That would be a lot better than being in the situation we have now. But you know what the chances is of that happening? 0. 1 in a billion. 1 in a trillion. Never gonna happen. Because they have more important things to do, more bigger fish to fry, like the destruction of Israel, than actually trying to build something productive, the Palestinian and the Palestinian cause, and the broken people who support the Palestinian cause in the West. God bless them.